class, I just wanted to take a few minutes to give you some information on how to go about creating a speech. This is going to be an overview, so you'll definitely want to go back and look at your textbook. There's several chapters that go into really good detail that you'll need to not only learn for the exam, but also for your own benefit in creating your speeches. So first, let's just run down how do you begin developing a speech. You first need to think about or consider the goal of the speech. In our particular class, you're going to be given a speech goal, oftentimes with the assignment description. So for instance, you'll have an informative speech. So your goal is to inform the audience about something. That something is something you get to pick. Or you might be given the task to persuade the audience in a persuasive speech. So your goal might be to persuade the audience that this is the way we should do things, or that you should go do this, or this needs to stop, or whatever the case may be. Once you identify a speech goal, you're going to pick a topic. And so an informative topic is going to be a topic that has no call to action to the audience. You're just informing the audience. You're just telling them about something, how something works, what something does, the history of something or someone. And so you've got a wide range of topics. For the informative speech in this class, you get to choose anything. It needs to be college worthy. Let's stay away from how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I think we all understand that at this point. But other than that, I'm pretty much giving you free rein to pick any topic that you think would be interesting. Pick a topic that's interesting to you, that you can research and learn more about, and stay within the realm of informative or persuasive speaking, depending on the assignment. For persuasive speaking, obviously you're going to try to move us to action or persuade us that something is good or something is bad. Next, we need to analyze your audience. Who are you speaking to? And you need to tailor your speech to that particular audience. In this instance, we're speaking to other college students. College students generally have the same interests. They generally have similar experiences. But we don't necessarily pick a topic based on our audience, but instead we tailor our topic to that audience. So get to know your audience and figure out who they are, what they already know about your topic, and how you might make it interesting for them. Next, you want to develop a thesis statement. A thesis statement is a big idea of your speech that encompasses your whole speech. Think of a thesis statement as a fence around your speech that creates a boundary. And so if we're going to be talking about why dogs are the best pets to have, for instance, we're going to only put things in our speech that deal with dogs as pets. We're not going to put in information about cats. And so our thesis statement might seem something like, dogs are the best animals for a family pet. Very simple thesis statement, clearly defines what the speech is about. No other information outside that boundary is getting in the speech. Next, we're going to divide our topic into a couple of main points. Usually 3 main points is a good amount, and so you want to think about how the topic can divide and what can you reasonably cover and get some good detail in. And so think about maybe doing a chronological pattern if that's applicable to your topic. If you're going to give a speech about the history of some particular movement, or maybe the history of a person, or a biographical speech, you would choose some sort of chronological pattern. First main point is here's what happened first. Second main point is here's what happened second. And then third main point is, of course, here's what happened last. So not rocket science by any means. You don't have to do a chronological pattern, though. The textbook will give you some other options of how to arrange your main points. So read over that section, and I think you'll find that often depends on your topic that you choose. Then you're going to go out and research your topic. You're not going to only rely on your knowledge. You're going to add to your knowledge by looking up credible sources that have said something about your topic. And a credible source is a person or an entity that we recognize as knowledgeable. They're an expert on this particular topic, and they're trustworthy and believable. They have information that's recent for us, and it's not outdated. And so if we're going to give a speech about how to live a heart-healthy life, a credible source would be the American Heart Association, or it could be a cardiologist. You just need to research from credible sources. Leave Wikipedia behind. Wikipedia is a great place to start your research, but it's not where we should end our research. It'll give us places to go further and look, but we don't need to cite Wikipedia as the source. We need to go further and look at the actual specific sources that come up with the information. Wikipedia just collects information. So find support. Put that support material underneath your main points and support, build up those main points so that first of all your speech meets the required time limits, and second of all your speech has some good, interesting information in it that's credible. You're going to want to cite those sources verbally while you're giving your speech. You do not need to put your sources on your PowerPoint. You do not need to cite them at the end of your speech. Instead, we want you to cite them in your speech as you're giving the speech out loud. So that'll look something like, according to the American Heart Association, we should eat 5 to 7 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. Perfect. That's citing a source. I've given the information from the source, and I've also given the name of the source. Therefore, my audience knows that I didn't create that information, I didn't come up with it. Someone who's a little bit smarter than me came up with that, and I'm sharing it with them, the audience. All right? So once you get all of your main points filled in and built up with your research and the information you've gathered, then you actually want to go back and you want to develop an introduction and a conclusion to your speech. Oftentimes people want to start with the introduction and work their way through the speech. Now, get a thesis statement going, divide the speech into main points, fill in the main points, then go back and finish the introduction. The introduction has 3 main areas. It has an intention statement, which is a statement that gets the audience's attention. It could be a statistic, a quote, startling information, could be a rhetorical question. There's lots of different types of attention statements. The second thing in an introduction is your thesis statement. Well, you've already got that developed, so that's already done for you. And then the third statement in your introduction is a preview statement. This is a statement that tells us where you're going with your speech. And so basically it just lists your main points. So it might sound something like, today we're going to be talking about the diet you should have for a heart-healthy life, exercises you can do, and then other lifestyle changes in order to have a heart-healthy life. So we see now that we're going to cover 3 areas, our 3 main points. It's shared with the audience in the introduction, so now they know what to listen for through the rest of the speech. Going down to the conclusion, we're going to start the conclusion with a summary of what we just said. Once again, it's like a preview statement, except now we're summarizing. So now you know more about some diet, exercise, and lifestyle choices to live a heart-healthy life. We've now summarized the speech. Then we're going to restate the thesis statement in the conclusion, and then come up with a definite ending statement. This is a statement that just clearly says that we are done with this speech without you actually having to say, I am done with this speech. All right? And so it could be just a very simple tie back into the attention statement, or it could just be a simple closing statement that signifies to the audience that you're done. All right. No, we're not done yet. We have one more thing to go back and put into our speech, and that's transition statements. Transition statements are very simple statements that help connect you from one idea to another. And so a transition statement might look like something so now that we've talked about good diet tips for living a heart-healthy life, let's now turn our attention to what we can do physically, what kind of exercise tips we can do. And then you go into your point on exercise. And so it just connects the main points. And so go back and put transition statements in. At this point, you basically created a speech. Now you have to practice it. You have to put it on speaker notes. We'll talk about that in another video. But you have created a speech at this point. It's super easy to do. It takes some thought. It takes some organization. And definitely takes a little bit of practice to get it really smooth. But you can do it. If you have any questions about how to prepare your speech or how to create a speech, just let me know. I'm always happy to help, and I hope this video has given you some good information on it. Thanks so much.